In a future not so far away, humanity may face a turning point unlike anything in recorded history. Not because of one single disaster, but because of a slow buildup of challenges we are creating for ourselves right now. If we look closely at the direction the world is heading, we see warning signs everywhere. The planet is getting warmer. Natural systems that took millions of years to balance are now being pushed beyond their limits. Forests that once acted as Earth's lungs are shrinking. Oceans are filling with plastic instead of life. Species are disappearing faster than they can be studied. At the same time, human progress is accelerating at a speed we have never experienced before. Technology is advancing, populations are growing, and cities are expanding. But this progress comes with a hidden cost pressure on the very systems that keep life possible. Some scientific thinkers have warned that if this pattern continues unchecked, humanity could reach a critical point within a few centuries. Not because Earth will suddenly explode or vanish, but because the conditions that make it livable could gradually collapse. Clean air, stable climate, fertile land, and reliable ecosystems are not guaranteed forever. They are delicate systems that depend on balance. One of the greatest risks is climate instability. Rising temperatures could reshape coastlines, disrupt agriculture, and make large regions difficult to inhabit. Food and water shortages could increase conflicts. Migration on a massive scale could strain nations. These changes would not happen overnight, but step by step, year by year, they could redefine life on Earth. Another concern is technological risk. As human inventions become more powerful, so does the responsibility to control them. Without careful guidance, advanced systems could create consequences we are not prepared for. The future will demand wisdom equal to innovation. Yet, this is not a message of despair, it is a message of awareness. Humanity has faced global challenges before and overcome them through cooperation, science, and adaptation. The same intelligence that brought us to this point also holds the power to change direction. The future is not fixed. It is shaped by choices made in the present. Every effort to protect nature, every step toward cleaner energy, every decision to reduce waste, and every act of global cooperation becomes part of the solution. The coming centuries do not have to represent an ending. They can represent a transformation if awareness turns into action today. Environmental decline is accelerating. The speech highlights rising temperatures, deforestation, pollution, and loss of biodiversity as major warning signs for Earth's future. The speech explains that one of the biggest concerns for humanity's future is the continuous damage being done to the environment. It points out that Earth's natural balance is slowly being disturbed through rising temperatures, pollution, deforestation, and the loss of wildlife. These changes may not seem immediately dangerous, but over time they build up and weaken the systems that support life. Forests, which once helped absorb carbon and produce oxygen, are shrinking at an alarming rate, while oceans are becoming polluted with plastic and toxic waste. As a result, ecosystems that took millions of years to form are now breaking down within a few generations. At the same time, human activities are expanding rapidly. Cities are growing, industries are increasing, and the demand for resources is higher than ever before. While this shows progress, it also creates heavy pressure on the planet's limited natural resources. Scientists warn that if this pattern continues without control, future generations may face severe environmental challenges, such as extreme weather, rising sea levels, and widespread food and water shortages. These problems would not appear suddenly, but would develop gradually, making them harder to reverse. The speech ultimately highlights that humanity is standing at a critical point where its actions today will decide whether the future leads to stability or long-term environmental decline. Human progress is creating hidden pressure. Rapid population growth, industrial expansion, and technological development are increasing strain on natural system. Another important idea in the speech is that human progress, while impressive, is also creating hidden risks that could affect life on Earth in the long run. As technology advances and populations grow, the demand for energy, land, food, and water continues to increase. This rapid development has helped improve living standards, connect the world, and create powerful new tools. but it has also placed enormous stress on the planet's natural systems. Industries release large amounts of greenhouse gases, contributing to climate change, while expanding cities consume land that once supported forests and wildlife. The more humanity develops, the more it depends on complex systems that are becoming less stable. Over time, this imbalance could lead to unpredictable consequences, such as natural disasters, droughts, floods, and heat waves, becoming more frequent and severe. In addition, there is concern that technological growth without proper responsibility could create challenges that are difficult to control in the future. The speech emphasizes that progress itself is not the problem. The problem is the lack of balance between growth and sustainability. If humans continue to prioritize short-term benefits over long-term survival, the pressure on Earth's environment will keep increasing. However, with awareness and responsible planning, it is still possible to guide progress in a direction that protects both humanity and the planet. Risk of long-term planetary instability. If current trends continue, essential life support systems like clean air, water, and fertile land could gradually collapse over centuries. The speech emphasizes that one of the most serious long-term dangers facing humanity is the gradual instability of Earth's life support system. Unlike sudden disasters, this type of threat develops slowly, making it harder to notice until the effects become severe. Essential resources such as clean air, fresh water, fertile soil, and stable weather patterns are all interconnected, and even small disruptions in one area can affect the entire system. As environmental pressure increases due to pollution, overconsumption, and climate change, these natural systems begin to weaken. Over time, this could lead to a point where they can no longer recover their original balance. For example, changing rainfall patterns may reduce agricultural productivity, while rising temperatures could make certain regions less habitable. Water scarcity may become more common, forcing communities to move and creating additional stress on other regions. What makes this situation especially concerning is that it would not happen suddenly, but in stages, gradually reducing quality of life across the globe. Each generation may experience slightly harsher conditions than the last, until the changes become undeniable. The speech highlights that this slow decline is dangerous because it can be ignored in the short term, even though it builds toward a serious global crisis over time. Climate and resource crises may reshape civilization. Rising seas, food and water shortages, and large-scale migration could disrupt global stability and increase conflict. Another major concern discussed in the speech is the possibility that climate change and resource shortages could reshape human civilization on a global scale. As temperatures continue to rise, the impact on natural systems becomes more severe and unpredictable. Ice caps and glaciers are melting, causing sea levels to rise and threatening coastal cities where millions of people live. At the same time, changing weather patterns are making agriculture more difficult, as some regions experience long droughts while others face destructive floods. These extreme conditions directly affect food production, which can lead to shortages and higher prices, putting pressure on both rich and poor nations. Water scarcity is another growing issue, as freshwater sources become less reliable due to overuse and changing rainfall cycles. When essential resources like food and water become limited, competition between communities and countries can increase, sometimes leading to conflict or forced migration. Large populations may be displaced, creating social and economic challenges for surrounding areas that are not prepared for sudden population growth. Over time, these combined pressures could change how societies function, how economies operate, and where people are able to live safely. The speech stresses that these risks are not distant imagination, but real possibilities that depend on current actions. If ignored, they could gradually transform the structure of human civilization itself. Future depends on present actions. Despite the risks, the speech emphasizes hope humanity can still change the outcome through cooperation, innovation, and sustainable choices. Despite all the warnings and risks described in the speech, it also carries a strong message of hope and responsibility. It emphasizes that the future of humanity is not fixed or predetermined, but shaped by the decisions we make today. Even though environmental damage, climate change, and technological risks are serious challenges, they are not beyond solution. Human beings have the ability to think, adapt, and innovate, which means there is still time to change direction. The speech suggests that small actions, when multiplied across billions of people, can create a powerful impact. Protecting forests, reducing pollution, using renewable energy, and managing resources wisely are all steps that can help restore balance to the planet. International cooperation is also essential because environmental problems do not respect national borders. Countries must work together rather than act alone if they want to secure a stable future. Education and awareness play a key role as well, since understanding the consequences of our actions leads to better choices. The speech ultimately encourages responsibility instead of fear, reminding us that humanity has faced difficult moments before and survived. If science, compassion, and cooperation are combined, it is still possible to build a future where progress and nature exist in harmony rather than conflict.